this tutorial, we will discuss about three-dimensional geometry of class 12, right? Three-dimensional geometry. Before starting, we need to discuss some basic idea from class 11th, from basic idea of three-dimensional geometry, right? So in this tutorial, we will discuss the direction ratio and direction cosine of a straight line, as well as the basic concept of three-dimensional geometry like distance formula, section formula, and the question application based on the distance formula and the section formula, right? First of all, we need to discuss about the three-dimensional geometry. Three-dimensional geometry means we have three-dimensional plane. We have a three-dimensional plane in which three axes are there: x, y, and z. Right? For example, if you say how it is three-dimensional, so we can say that this axis is called x-axis. This axis is y-axis. Right? So this axis is called x-axis. This is y-axis, and this is called z-axis. Right? So these are the axes x, y, and z. So this plane is called the three-dimensional plane, right? Now you can see if a point lies in this octane, this is called first octane. If a point lies in this octane, means each x, y, and z axis are positive here. For example, if we have a point 1, 2, 3, so this is the point 1, 2, 3. This point is called point 1, 2, 3. Means if you draw perpendicular to x-axis, the distance from origin to that will be 1 unit. If you draw the perpendicular on y-axis, the distance from origin to this point is 2 unit. And if you draw the perpendicular to the z-axis, the distance from origin to that point will be 3 unit. So we can say that 1, 2, 3 point lie on the first octane. The octane is called x, o, y, z. All 3 points are positive. But if we have a point minus 1, 2, 3, where it lies minus 1, 2, 3, this negative x-axis, positive y-axis and positive z-axis. So these are z-axis and y-axis. X-axis will be negative. This is the positive x-axis. We can say this is the negative x-axis. Now the point lies in this octane. So there are 8 octanes in the plane. If you have a point like minus 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, 3, means x-axis negative, y-axis also negative. Now this is the octane. This octane is called x dash o y dash z. X and y both axes are negative and z axis is positive, right? So first of all, we need to discuss the three-dimensional axis. How can we represent the point in the octane? There are 8 octanes. First octane is called x, o, y, z. Means all the 3 points are positive, 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 and positive. Right? Then x, o, y, z dash, we can say that positive, positive, negative. Then x, o, y dash, z, we can say that positive, y axis negative and z axis positive. If you have x dash, o, y, z, we can say that x axis negative and y and z axis are positive. We can say that x dash, o, y dash, z means x axis and y axis both are negative, z axis positive. If we have x dash, o, y, z dash, means we can say that negative, positive, and negative. If we have x, o, y dash, z dash, means x axis positive and y and z are negative. How many? 3, 6, 7. And the last one will be all 3 are negative. So these 8 are octane. We can represent the point on the axis. Now, how can we find the distance between 2 points in the three-dimensional plane? Let us see if we have a three-dimensional plane like this. If we have a three-dimensional plane like this, x, y, and z axis, and we have 2 points. We have 2 points on the corner, first octane. These are the points. How can we find distance between 2 points? So if we have 2 points in the first octane, like point P as x1, y1, z1, and let's consider the point Q and whose coordinate x2, y2, z2. As we learned in class 11, we know the distance between 2 points PQ can be written as square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. No matter where the point located, the point may be located on first octant, second octant up to 8th octant. Right? If first point in this and second point in this, we can find the distance by this formula only. Right? So this is the distance formula to find the distance between any two points in the three-dimensional plane. Now we learned in class 11th about the section formula. What is the section formula? If we have 2 points in the three-dimensional plane, if point lies in the three-dimensional plane, means its coordinate axis can be written as x1, y1, z1, and point B can be written as x2, y2, z2, right? And we have a point P. And point P divides the line AB in the ratio m:n, we have to find the coordinate of point P. As we learned in class 11, the coordinate of point P can be written as, in three-dimensional plane, we can write it as mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n. Then y coordinate can be written as my2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n, and then mz2 plus nz1 divided by m plus n. Right? So this is the coordinate of point P if in the case of internal division. But in the case of the external division, if we have a line AB and point P externally divide this line. Let's see, if we have 2 points x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2, and point P is just outside the line AB and it divides in the ratio m:n externally, then the coordinate of point P can be written as mx2 minus nx1 divided by m minus n, my2 minus ny1 divided by m minus n, and mz2 minus mz1 divided by m minus n, right? So this is the coordinate of point P in the case of external division. Now similarly you can find the coordinate of midpoint between two straight lines, between 2 points, right? If we have 2 points A and B and P is the midpoint between A and B, so we can say that P divides the line AB in the ratio 1:1. So we can consider M and N both will be 1 here. So the midpoint, the coordinate of midpoint will be x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2, and z1 plus z2 divided by 2. That will be the coordinate of midpoint. If point P the midpoint between A and B, right? Now you can also find the coordinate of centroid. You know, the coordinate of centroid in the three-dimensional plane will be x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3, y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3, and z1 plus z2 plus z3 by 3, right? So you can solve two different type of questions based on section formula. First question is to find the ratio if 3 coordinate points are given, and second thing, if 2 coordinates and the ratio are given, we can find the coordinate of point P, right? So these are the basics from class 11. Now let's see some very important question based on distance formula and section formula. And the very important thing, if you have a point with coordinate 0, let's see if we have a point 2, 3, 0, where this point is located. This point is located on xy plane because the z coordinate is 0. So this point exactly lies on xy plane, right? If we have a point like 1, 0, 3, where is it located? This point is located on xz plane because y coordinate is 0. If a point lies on xy plane, either positive or negative side, whose z coordinate will be 0. If point lies on yz plane, their x coordinate will be 0. If the point lies on xz plane, their y coordinate will be 0. So by that way, we can locate the point on the coordinate axis on the three-dimensional plane, right? Now, let's see if we have a question based on section formula. The question is, find the coordinates of the points. Find the coordinates of the points which trisect the line segment AB given A 2, 1, minus 3 and B 5, minus 8, 3. So we have to find the coordinate of points of trisection. Points of trisection means we have two different points in between the points A and B. Let's see, if we have a point A 2, 1, minus 3 and point B we have 5, minus 8, 3, right? So where are the points of trisection in this straight line? Points of trisection means both points divide this line into three equal parts. So we can consider 2 points P and Q in between AB such that AP is equal to PQ is equal to QB, right? So we can consider AP is to PQ is to QB as a ratio 1:1:1, so that we can say that P and Q divide the line AB into three equal parts, right? Now we have to find the coordinate of point P as well as coordinate of point Q. So first of all, we can apply the section formula. We can apply the section formula in AP is to PB. You can say that this ratio is 1:2. We can apply the section formula. We will get the coordinate of point P. We will get the coordinate of point P. Let's consider point P divides the line AB in the ratio 1:2. How can you find the coordinate of point P? You know the formula mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n. So by that formula we can write m, that is 1 multiply 5 mx2 plus nx1, that is 2 multiply 2 divided by m plus n, 1 plus 2, right? Now we can write the y coordinate 1 multiply minus 8 and plus 2 multiply 1 divided by 1 plus 2. We written plus sign in between these because these are the internal division, right? And the third one, get coordinate 1 multiply 3 plus 2 multiply minus 3 divided by, we can write 1 plus 2. So finally the coordinate of point P will be 9 divided by 3 and we can write minus 6 divided by 3 and we can write minus 6 plus 3. So it will be minus 3 divided by 3. So the coordinate of point P finally will be 3, minus 2, minus 1. This is the coordinate of point P. Now how can you find the coordinate of point Q? Now we know that coordinate of point P is 3, minus 2, minus 1, and we can say that Q is the midpoint of PB. We can say that Q is the midpoint of PB, so we can apply the midpoint formula to find the coordinate of point Q. That will be 3 plus 5 divided by 2, minus 2 minus 8 divided by 2, and minus 1 plus 3 divided by 2. That will be the coordinate of point Q. So by this way you can find the coordinate of point Q and coordinate of point P, right? Now you solved already these questions in class 11. These are just revision. Now let's move to direction ratio and direction cosine. This is very basic concept to learn three-dimensional geometry, right? So let's see, if we have a coordinate axis. If we have a coordinate axis on three-dimensional plane x, y, z, and if we have a point P whose coordinate x, y, z. What do you mean by this x, y, z? These are the coordinates of point P: x coordinate, y coordinate, and z coordinate, right? And we have to find the direction cosine of this line. So direction cosine can be written as, direction cosine is the direction with OP vector. What is OP vector here? if you have to write OP vector, the position vector of point P is given. We can write it as xi cap plus y j cap plus z k cap. This is the position vector of point P. That will be called OP vector. Now we have to find direction cosine of this point. Cosine is what? Cos. You know the ratio of cos theta, that will be base divided by hypotenuse. Cos theta is what? Base divided by hypotenuse. If we have to find the angle, direction cosine is called this angle. Angle of OP vector with positive x-axis, let's consider alpha. So cos alpha is the direction cosine, and then point P to y-axis, the angle let's consider beta, and point P OP vector to z-axis we can consider gamma. So direction cosines with cos can be written as cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma. These are called the direction cosine of a straight line of a vector, right? If we have OP vector xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap, so cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma are the direction cosine. And what do we mean by alpha, beta and gamma? Alpha is the angle of that vector with x-axis, beta is the angle of that vector with y-axis, and gamma is the angle with z-axis. So these are the angles angle alpha, beta and gamma, and whose cosines are called direction cosines of that vector, right? So first of all you have to find the vector, then only we can find the direction cosines of that vector or that straight line, right? Now how can we evaluate this and how can we represent it? So cos alpha can be written L, cos beta is called M and cos gamma is called N. These are the symbols for direction cosine. L, M, N are the direction cosine. How can we evaluate this? If we draw the perpendicular from point P to the x-axis, you know this length OQ is called x. This length OQ is called x only. This is the length on x-axis, along x-axis, right? So cos alpha equal to base by hypotenuse. You know cos theta equal to b by x. So cos alpha can be written x divided by length of OP. What do you mean by length of OP? Length of OP means magnitude of OP vector. So the magnitude of OP vector can be written as square root of x square plus y square plus z square, right? Square root of x square plus y square plus z square, right? So now therefore cos alpha can be written as plus minus x divided by square root of x square plus y square plus z square, base by hypotenuse. If you draw the perpendicular to the y-axis, you will get cos beta, that you know y plus minus y divided by square root of x square plus y square plus z square. And you know cos gamma can be written as plus minus z divided by square root of x square plus y square plus z square, right? So these are called the direction cosine. This is the formula for direction cosine. L is equal to x by this, m is equal to y by magnitude, and n is equal to z by the magnitude. These are called the direction cosine. Now the very important question, what are the relation between all the three direction cosines of a vector? Can you find the relation between these? Yes. If you are squaring this one, you will get x square by x square plus y square plus z square, and cos square beta can be written as y square by x square plus y square plus z square, and cos gamma can be written as z square by x square plus y square plus z square. So the very important relation between all the three direction cosines can be written as n square plus m square plus n square is equal to 1. Very important relation. Means means cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma is equal to 1. Now, I have a very important doubt in this question. Why we can write it as plus and minus? Why? Why? Because angle alpha, beta and gamma, are lie between 0 degree to 180 degree. 0 degree to 180 degree. So, cos alpha may be positive, may be negative. Cos alpha, beta and cos gamma are positive from 0 degree to 90 degree and negative from 90 degree to 180 degree. That's why we written here either positive as well as negative. Right? Now the question is, how can you find the direction cosines? And the very important question, what are the direction ratio? There are two important topics in this. Direction cosines and direction ratio. Direction cosines and direction ratio. Two important topics in this. Direction cosines and direction ratio. So, direction cosines are cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma, and direction ratios are just x, y and z. These are called the direction ratios. Means if we have to find the direction ratio of a vector, means you can say that the I component, j component and k component are the direction ratios, right? Now we need to do some application based on direction ratios and direction cosines. Let's see if we have the question from 2012 board examination, CBSE board. If a line has direction ratios proportional to 2, minus 1, minus 2, then what are its direction cosines? What are its direction cosines, right? If a line has direction ratios are 2, minus 1, minus 2, how can you find the direction cosines? It's very simple. Let OA vector is equal to 2i cap minus j cap minus 2k cap. This is a vector whose direction ratio is 2, minus 1, minus 2. So we can find the direction cosine. Direction cosine L can be written as cos alpha. That is, first of all we can find the magnitude of OA. Then we can divide it with all, right? So magnitude of OA can be written as square root of 2 square plus minus 1 square plus minus 2 square. That will be 4 plus 1 plus 4. That will be 3 1. 4 plus 4, 8 plus 1, 9, root 9 will be 3. And we cannot write minus 3 here because OA magnitude is the length of OA vector. Right? So therefore L cos alpha can be written as 2 divided by 3, x divided by its magnitude, m can be written as cos beta, that is minus 1 divided by 3, and m is equal to cos gamma, that is minus 2 divided by 3. So these three are the direction cosines of the given vector. These three are direction cosines of the when direction ratios are 2, minus 1, minus 2. So means we can say that direction ratios are just I, j and k component, and direction cosines are cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma of the given vector. And the very important relation between direction cosines are what? L square plus m square plus n square. Very important relation of in between all the three direction ratios, right? Now, how can we relate direction cosine with a vector? if we have a vector, A vector is equal to A1 I cap plus A2 J cap plus A3 K cap. Do you know what is unit vector of this? Do you know what is unit vector? We can write unit vector of vector A, means we have to divide this vector with its magnitude. So it can be written as A divided by square root of A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square I cap plus A2 divided by square root of A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square J cap plus A3 divided by square root of A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square K cap. This is called the unit vector of a vector A. And I think these A1 by this one, A2 by this and A3 by this are the direction cosines called L, M, N. So A cap can be written as L I cap plus M J cap plus N K cap. Means if you have direction cosines of a vector given, then you can find the unit vector of that vector. And if we have unit vector given, then the component of unit vector I cap, J cap, K cap are the direction cosines only. So the unit vector and direction cosines are related to each other, right? Now we have one very important question. If a line makes an angle, if a line makes angles 45 degree and 60 degree with x and y axis, find the angle with z axis. If a line makes an angle of 45 degree and 60 degree with x and y, so this we can say that alpha is 45 degree and beta is 60 degree, and we have to find the value of gamma here. So in this question given, you can write alpha equal to 45 degree, beta equal to 60 degree, and gamma we don't know. We have to find the value of gamma. So I think we have a relation between alpha, beta and gamma. We have a relation between alpha, beta and gamma. Yes, we have a relation between alpha, beta and gamma. And that relation are called cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma is equal to 1. That L square plus m square plus n square equal to 1. So since we have this relation, we can put the value of alpha and beta in this, we will get the value of gamma. So you can say that cos 45 degree whole square, that 1 by root 2 whole square, and plus cos 60 whole square, cos 60 1 by 2 whole square, and plus cos square gamma equal to 1. So it will be 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 plus cos square gamma is equal to 1. So cos square gamma equal to 1 minus 3 by 4. I think 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 will be 3 by 4. So cos square gamma can be written as 1 by 4. Cos gamma will be plus minus 1 by 4. Alpha, beta and gamma will lie between 0 degree to 180 degree. So we have two different values of gamma. One in first quadrant, that is 60 degree, and second 180 minus 60 degree, that is 120 degree. So two values of gamma are there, 60 degree and 120 degree, right? Why? Because gamma, alpha and beta all lie between 0 degree to 180 degree, right? So now these are the application questions based on direction ratio and direction cosine. Now the very important part, how can we find direction ratio of a straight line passing through two different points? How can we find direction ratio or direction cosines of a two straight line passing through 2 points? For example, if we have a straight line, AB whose coordinates are x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2. What is the direction ratio of this line? Direction ratio of AB vector, direction ratio of AB vector. So direction ratio of AB vector means the I component, J component and K component of AB vector, right? So what are the components here? We can write AB vector equal to B vector minus A vector, position vector of point B minus position vector of point A, that will be called AB vector. So we can write it as x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1 and z2 minus z1. This is called the direction ratio of this straight line. For example, if we have a straight line and the coordinate points are given, then how can we find the direction ratio? If we have a straight line whose coordinate 2, 1, 3 and point B coordinate is minus 1, 0, 2, how can we find direction ratios of this line? The direction ratios of the line AB can be written as minus 1, minus 2, can be written as minus 1, minus 2, comma, I component, J component 0, minus 1 and K component 2, minus 3, right? So it will be minus 3, minus 1, minus 1. These are called the direction ratios of the line AB, and the direction ratio of line BA can be written as 3, 1, 1. Now if we have to find direction cosine, then we can find with the help of direction ratio, right? And you know, if a line is parallel to another line, so whose direction ratio is the same, if we have a line AB and if we have a line PQ which is parallel to the line AB, then both direction ratios, if we have a line MN which is also parallel to the line AB, which direction ratios of all the three lines are same. Direction ratio of PQ are minus 3, minus 1, minus 1. Direction ratio of MN are minus 3, minus 1, minus 1. Direction ratio means what? I component, J component and K component only. That will be the direction ratio. And if we have the direction ratio of the line 2, 4, 6, then we can simplify this one, because direction ratio represent the direction only, not the magnitude. If we have a vector 2i cap plus 4j cap plus 6k cap, we can write it direction ratio as 1, 2, 3. You can cancel with 2. That will be the direction ratio, right? So these are all about the direction ratio and the basic concept of three-dimensional geometry. Now in the next tutorial, we will discuss the straight line in a plane and the three-dimensional plane, right? Thank you.